Welcome into Ladd Peebles Stadium, the site of the annual Senior Bowl here in Mobile, Alabama. Marisa Contipelli and Dave Lapham with you as the Bengals wrapped up their first practice with the South team earlier this afternoon. Behind us right now, the Detroit Lions and the North team are getting their first practice in of the week. And Dave, there's a lot of talent on this South roster. Finally got a chance to see it out on the field this afternoon. Who caught your eye early on?
Well, like I always do, Marissa, when I first go to watch a team play, an all-star team that's assembled, I look at the pitch. You know, the games are won and lost in the pits at the line of scrimmage. And I'll tell you, they went to the end zone and they did live one-on-one run blocking, one-on-one pass protection, and then they went in tandem as a duo in run blocking and pass protection. And four guys stood out to me, a couple of defensive players. Javon Kinlaw from South Carolina. If this kid doesn't go in the top 15, I'll be shocked. I mean, he dominated. He might be the best defensive player, I think, maybe in this football game, and he lived up to it. He was unblockable in their drills. And out of Alabama, he had Terrell Lewis was unbelievable on the edge. He's long. He can play rush end, and he can also play Sam linebacker, strong side-outside linebacker, and he showed an ability to do that in the running game and his pass rush. His pass rush was true every single snap. So, boy, if he's around at number 33, for example, which I'm not sure he would be, but if he is, that's a guy that you got to kind of zero in on a little bit, because I think he's the real deal. And then offensive linemen. This game is for guys to really show their wares, and I get a guy, Logan Stenberg out of Kentucky. He is nasty. Logan Stenberg wants to finish you over a pile and watch you suffer every single snap. This kid is very physical, very tough. He was outstanding in the run game in the one-on-ones. And then a Division III guy. This game is, if you haven't played at a high level of competition, that's the question mark on your resume. You want to come to the Senior Bowl and show that you can do it against the big boys. And I'll tell you, this Ben Barch out of St. John's, Division III school. Ben Barch looked very NFL-ish now. He's got good feet. He's a big kid. I mean, the size isn't a problem for him. Ben Barch is 6'6", 310 pounds. So, and he showed good hands. He showed good feet. He belongs. And I think this game, is going to do wonders for Ben Barch in terms of maybe climbing the draft board, Marissa.
Well, I'm with you, Lap. One of my favorite drills to watch is those one-on-one between the D-line and the O-line. But I also love the 7-on-7 opportunities and a chance to really see the quarterbacks work with some of the receivers going against the DBs in secondary. And we finally got a chance to see Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, and Steven Montez. And for me, early on, it looked like Jalen was maybe struggling a bit of times with the deep pass, but I kind of liked what I saw from Justin Herbert.
I think Justin Herbert is legitimately a top 5 pick. I mean, he is the prototype. Size, you know, he's over 230 pounds. He's 6'5 plus. He's got a very strong throwing arm. I agree with you. Hurt kind of fluttered a couple of balls, but he can move. You know, and I think he showed that he's very capable at the quarterback position as well. And Montez's feet, I wasn't impressed with his footwork. His feet are a little bit slower, but he throws the ball pretty well too. But Herbert is definitely the top talent prospect. No question about it, out of those 3 quarterbacks, and he's something very, very special. He's got accuracy, he's got arm strength, and he moves very, very well for his size. So his footwork looked pretty good. He's definitely going in the top 5 to somebody.
Well, as expected, with this being the first practice today, there was a bit of a learning curve. We saw a decent amount of mistakes, some false starts happening on the offensive line, a lot of coaching. And I know something the coaches are stressing is, can these guys learn from those mistakes and really adapt as the week progresses? Yeah,
you're right on with it, Marissa. You know, and you come in here and you're not allowed to do a lot of things. You're not allowed to blitz. You're not allowed to twist and stunt defensive linemen. So you think, oh, it's pretty elementary. They're going to, install a very basic system. And they really are. But everybody comes from a totally different offensive system. Everybody has different cadences, different snap counts, different terminology, different nomenclature. So that's where you're going to get the mistakes early on is okay, you got to unlearn what you worked on maybe 3 years in your varsity career, unlearn that system and relearn a new one. Even if it's elementary and not as complicated, there's still a learning curve, a learning process there, like you said. And I think day 1 there were a few mistakes, and hopefully day 2 and day 3 of practice those will diminish. And when they line up to play in the game, they'll be spit shine and everything will be nice.
Absolutely. Lining up to play in a game takes you back to 1974, the last time you were down here at the Senior Bowl. Dave, just how important was that experience for you? Because obviously it made a strong impression with the Bengals to kind of help raise that draft stock, and I know that's what a lot of the prospects here are looking to do.
Yeah, I mean, it was big. I mean, the Senior Bowl, that was the crown jewel. Everybody's like, man, you're playing in the Senior Bowl? I said, yeah. I can't believe it. And it's just, going against the cream of the cream, the best in the country. And I remember going against Ed Too Tall Jones, in a pass rush drill, and I'm thinking, man, here we are one-on-one. I'm down here in Mobile, Alabama, and literally there was a circle of owners, coaches, everybody within an arm's length. I'm thinking, man, I hope I block him a little bit because there was pressure, but it was almost like you can't lose proposition. If you do a decent job against the best in the country, you feel like you're going to help yourself. So, and honestly, it was a week-long job interview is what it was, and that's why when we were observing the first meeting last night, when guys were coming in late, I can't understand why you'd show up 5 minutes late for your first meeting. I mean, the first impression is the most valuable impression, no matter what job you're trying to get. So, man, you got to be 10 minutes early, never mind 5 minutes late. And so that's what the Senior Bowl is all about. And if you handle it the right way, it turns into a week-long job interview that'll pay dividends for you.
Could not agree more. And every time we've heard Zach Taylor and his coaching staff talk, it seems that they keep relaying that message. Just, you're not only trying to make an impression with the Bengals or the Lions this week, but there's 30 other teams here represented as well.
Absolutely. And now, I mean, there's so much. I mean, the IT back then in 1972, there weren't cell phones. I mean, there wasn't anything. There was no the game was almost in solitude, other than game day when they televised it on national television. But now every single move, every single interview is taped, and there's copies upon copies sent out all over the country. So everything you say and do, you can't take back. So you better put your best foot forward for sure.
Well, we will continue to bring you plenty of coverage from the Senior Bowl this week, so make sure to check back in to Bengals.com and follow along with us on social media. We'll have a recap for you each day of practice along with Jeff Popson. He'll have plenty of articles for you as well.